All right, this is chapter 3, lesson 5, divide integers. So dividing integers is very similar to multiplying integers. You have the same concept of if they're the same sign, it's going to be positive, and if you have different signs, they're going to be negative. Okay, so when I divide integers with different signs, again, this is very similar to what we just did with multiplication. Okay, the quotient of two integers with different signs is negative. So 33 divided by negative 11, different signs, gives me a negative answer, negative 3. Okay. If I'm dividing integers with the same sign, the quotient of two integers with the same sign is positive. So negative 64 divided by negative 8, they're the same sign. 64 divided by 8 gives me a positive 8. Okay. So a special note here, you can divide integers provided that the divisor is not 0. Okay, so that means the bottom number, your denominator in a fraction, or your divisor cannot be 0. Since multiplication and division sentences are related, you can use them to find the quotients of integers with different signs. Okay, so you can think to yourself, so in the case of the 33 divided by negative 11, okay, you can think to yourself, well, what times 11 would get me 33? 3, okay? So let's look at some examples. So the first set of examples I have is find 80 divided by negative 10. Okay, so they're different signs. So when I divide 80 divided by 10, I get 8. And they're different signs, so my answer is negative. Then I can find negative 55 over 11. Different signs, so my answer is negative. I get a negative 5. 55 divided by 11 is 5. Okay? I have negative 14 divided by negative 7. Again, different signs. Or they're the same sign. So since they're the same sign, my answer is going to be positive. 14 divided by 7 gives me 2. Then I have evaluate negative 16 divided by x if x equals negative 4. So I can take this negative 4 and I can plug it in for x, which gives me negative 16 divided by negative 4. Okay, same sign. So when I divide, I get a positive number. So 16 divided by 4 gives me a positive 4. Okay. So there are a couple of try it problems on this page. Go ahead, pause the video, try out the try it problems, and then when we come back, we will go over the answers together. All right, now that you've tried the try it problems on your own, let's go over the answers together. So the first one I have here is 20 divided by negative 4. Okay, so they're different signs, so my answer is going to be negative, and 20 divided by 4 gives me 5, so I get negative 5. Okay, negative 81 divided by 9, again, answers are, or signs are different, so my answer will be negative. 81 divided by 9 is 9. So negative 9. Okay. Then I have negative 24 divided by negative 4. Same sign, so my answer is going to be positive. 24 divided by 4 gives me 6. Okay. Then I have negative 28 divided by negative 7. Same sign, so my answer will be positive. 28 divided by 7 is 4. Okay. Then I have a word problem. So it says the average temperature in January for North Pole, Alaska is negative 24 degrees Celsius. Use the expression 9C plus 160 divided by 5 to find the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Round to the nearest degree, then explain the meaning. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm going to take this equation that they gave me and I'm going to plug in negative 24 for C. Okay, So I have okay, I'm going to plug in for C. So I get 9 times negative 24 plus 160 divided by 5. Okay. Well, negative 24 times 9 okay, gives me negative 216. Again, different signs. So negative 216 plus 160 divided by 5. Okay, so now I'm going to add those together. 216, negative 216 plus 160. Okay, so they're different signs, so I'm going to subtract them. And 216 is larger, so I get a negative number. Okay, so this equals negative 56 divided by 5. Okay. I'm going to get a negative number, right? Because negative 56 divided by 5, I have one negative and one positive, so they're different signs. So when I divide, I'm going to get a negative number. Okay. 5 goes into 56. 11, 13 times. Okay. So this gives me negative 13.2. Okay, so I get negative 13.2 as my answer. Okay, and it's degrees Fahrenheit because that's what I changed it to according to the use of this expression. Okay, and I want to round to the nearest degree, so that means negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit, rounded to the nearest degree. And then I want to explain the meaning. So negative 13, okay, so basically what this negative 13 is telling me, if I go back and I look at the problem, is the average temperature in January for North Pole, Alaska is negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Right? So the average temperature in North Pole, Alaska is negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. And that is the end of lesson 5.